So it's been a while, and I think I'll do a little video for you guys. Again, I didn't want anyone to worry about my little COVID thing. It was really weird the way I described what I had happen with COVID, because I did have the 2 vaccines. So to me, when I had the second vaccine, I was down and exhausted for a day. And when I actually got COVID, I was down and exhausted for a day and a half. And those were literally my only symptoms. So I'm sure that being vaccinated helped that issue. And I think that one of the things, there's Obi, I think that's, well, anyway, that was it. And then I did, like I said, it was so bizarre, but like 2 days later, when I was feeling 100%, I lost my sense of smell. So anyway, I'm gonna make the whole video about COVID, but that's my update. And so I'm doing a quick video of Obi and Asher just because I haven't done a video in a long time. And I'm taking them for a walk. And then tomorrow, Asher and Daisy, the little show team, are back on the road again. And that'll be fun. I'll keep you guys updated about our results. Daisy is crazy as usual. I'm looking at my camera now too and seeing a huge crack across the screen. But anyway, back to focus. One thing I wanted to talk about, well, really, it's kind of a different topic than usual, but on the dog show forums, people can get so like nasty. And one of the recent posts was this idea of, is it okay to show your dog when they don't need any more points for their championship except for a major show? So if the show isn't a major and it only is 1 or 2 points, there are so many other dogs that need those 1 or 2 points. So my personal opinion, and what I've taught my puppy owners, is that that isn't okay. And that, oops, oh my God, you guys, look, right live on camera, we got a coyote. Back this way, guys. Back this way, Ob. Let's see what Obi does. This is crazy. Do you guys see it? All right, go on, Mr. Coyote. Go on. Good boy. There he goes. Now, Obi's going to chase him. But I don't like that he's not super scared, so I think I'm actually going to turn around and go this way. Asher, that's a big old coyote. I don't think you want anything to do with it. There he goes, up that way. Wow, that's a big, giant coyote. And again, it's a little unusual to see it at this time of day, but now Obi might be onto it. So I guess I'll go up this way anyway. I mean, at least it's running away. You just worry about rabies if they don't seem to be running away. Anyway, that was cool to catch that on video. And I think Obi has seen it. So I'll keep walking up this way. Asher will give me a ride up the hill, so I might not be panting as much. Anyway, here, Ash. So my point is, back to the idea, I think it's not polite to show your dog in that circumstance because, and I actually just asked a friend recently if she could stop doing it because her dog has 22 points and you only need 15, but it needs 2 majors and it's only got 1 and it's 4 years old. So, and it's a nice dog. So, I mean, I think it and Daisy are very nice, and Daisy keeps getting reserved, so the judges think the same thing. She'll get second place to this dog and has lost multiple points to her, and I didn't think a big deal at first because the person wanted practice, but at this point it's like, okay, I want to get Daisy some points, and your older dog, when they both look pretty good, it's often going to go to the more mature dog, and she was great with that and fine, and that's what I teach my puppy owners. But on the forum, a bunch of people, all they kept saying was, oh, well, most people agreed, or half and half, I think. But other people were saying, hey, you paid your money. You should be able to show your dog if you want. If the other dog loses, that says something about the other dog, which isn't, again, the case, because I've even had lesser quality of my own dogs beat my better dogs when the better dogs are puppies. And the others are shown in a big class. So anyway, what I want to talk about was that, because I just think, as much as I get upset at how mean and awful the dog show people are, I think it's, oh God, listen to Obi. I gotta watch this and make sure the whole pack of coyotes hasn't surrounded him. Uh-oh. Anyway, I may have to save my pontification on this political thing for later, and I think I will, because I hear some noise and I am concerned. I'll report back later. Hopefully it's all okay. Oh wait, here comes Obi, so it's good. Good boy, Obi! 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 because that was a crazy sound, you guys. Good boy. That was like a good boy. Here, bud. Here, oh, good boy. Here. That was like a crying sound. And that kind of scared me. I mean, that was unusual. Hopefully he's well hidden by now. I would think, oh, Asher, don't pulling me. I would think Asher can't race a coyote. Anyway, I think I'm going to modify my walk today. I normally go down this other hill and up a huge hill, but I'm running behind time anyway, because I got to work today. So anyway, here's where I was going with this. Yesterday, integrating non-dog stuff into my talks, because some of you thankfully have appreciated it, which does make me happy, to be honest, because I will just obviously free talk about almost anything. But what I want to talk about is, I'm going to Google the exact speech, but I heard an excerpt of a speech from John F. Kennedy after the assassination of Martin Luther King, and it was so wonderful because it could have just been given today, because what it talked about is how our country was at a crossroads, and where people of color could choose so easily hate, and white people could also get defensive and ensconced in their camp. And then, of course, Kennedy brought up how he had his own family member killed, but also it was different because by a white person, it wasn't the different races' aggression upon one another. But nonetheless, he talked about it being such a pivotal moment where we could choose to be either our better selves and make this a moment where we come together and really concentrate on understanding one another's perspective and valuing diversity, or we could become bitter and anger and full of hate. And I think that that's kind of where we are now, especially after the pandemic, which I've said, ironically, multiple times, I would have thought would make us all like people a lot more. But even speaking for myself, I find myself way more crabby in traffic and kind of wanting to immediately be like, hey, you a-hole or whatever. And it's like, that's just something we have to counter, because is it going to be a choice? It is a choice, I mean, from all of us about how we want to be. And people don't understand, I think. I know I understand it, but I don't always operate on it. But it's like the idea of throwing the stone into the lake. The ripples go everywhere. You can't really, most of us aren't going to be politicians or Elon Musk, people with billions of dollars and a chance to change the world in that way. And so how can we change the world? Only by our individual actions. And if everybody were to be kinder and more understanding of people's different perspectives. And I guess this is kind of relevant because I'm going to do some Pride Month pictures of the dogs too. I'm going to put those on. I'm going to have Lexi maybe do some with her great camera today, because yay, Lexi's coming back. And I'll put them on my ShastaStaffords and Doberman's Facebook page if you guys want to check them out. But yeah, that's an interesting thing too, because there's so much feelings about this whole gender identification. And I'm not going to lie, when I first started being raised maybe 20 years ago, I thought it was kind of weird, because I was like, hey, you know, I get the idea of even trans dressing or whatever, but at that point I didn't get the idea of actually changing your gender, because it felt like it was maybe going against nature. But I've changed my mind about that now, because I think people can have different feelings based on the way their hormones or their biology, and also because I don't really care anymore. It's like, you think about it, if a person's a good person, I don't really care how they identify. That doesn't bother me at all. That's not a threat to me. And I don't think it really should be a threat to anybody. And honestly, if you're looking in an ideal world, it's like Carl Jung used to say about yin yang, the balance. We really should be aiming for the balance of male and female within all of us anyway. So I suppose if we were a highly evolved society, you know, you still need the biological urge to procreate, I think, but there'd be many people asexual or identifying as both or whatever. But now I really am getting into arcane stuff, so I'm sure most of you would be like, focus on the dogs, even the people who like me to say it. But anyway, I'll end it by just saying something completely different, that remember, you have the power to be kind and understanding of different perspectives, or try to understand, or at least respectfully let the person or persons hold their perspective. Even if you can't understand it, there's no need to be, you know, terribly rude and judgmental of it. And to bring it back to the dog show thing, I think, like, I finally ended my post by saying the point is if you think of others, you know, because obviously if you're just thinking of yourself, you're like, well, I paid the money, I have a right to show. But think of the other people. You're not saying, oh, I'll let your crappy dog win. You're saying, hey, you know, my dog doesn't need the points anymore, and let me give another dog a chance to get those points. It makes sense. And just being courteous of other people and thinking how other people would think would lead you to that conclusion. There's Jimmy and the crew, so I'll stop right at this moment. All right, bye guys, have a great day.